I Care a Lot is a great film, but it needed a better villain. Unless your antagonist can attack your protagonist's disabling belief systems, you have an inept antagonist. Someone who doesn't have any way of pushing the protagonist out of their comfort zone and ultimately giving us the catharsis that we're looking for from stories in general. When a film like I Care a Lot comes along with such an incredibly powerful protagonist,
except me,
it's so much more important to come up with an antagonist who can go that much further with them.
Look, whoa!
First scene, I Care a Lot, lets us know everything about the protagonist that we need to know. It lets us know that she has found a way to game the system and she is ultimately not a good person.
would lead to success and happiness. It doesn't.
It also lets us know her weakness.
And I've been poor. It doesn't agree with me.
And it also lets us know what her disabling belief is about the world. These are all key elements to a strong protagonist. Awesome job, we started off strong.
I agree. Order upheld.
What's her disabling belief, I hear you ask? Well, in the very first moments of the film, she actually says,
You're not good people. Trust me. There's no such thing as good people.
what she's doing therefore is she's trying to rationalize with the audience that she is totally okay with what she's doing because anyone else would do it in her position. Next, we get to see her in her element, where she is most comfortable. She's in a courtroom and she absolutely thrashes a poor fella. He's just trying to get to see his mother in a home. However, he's not allowed to.
It's a goddamn nightmare. She has kidnapped my mother.
Please, sir, calm down.
Outside the courthouse, he confronts her. And this is where we learn that she is completely impervious to threats. Threats of violence. She is literally fearless.
You may be a man, but if you ever threaten, touch, or spit on me again,
The filmmakers now have to bring in the antagonist. Well, they decide to bring in a cliched 1990s Russian mafia mob boss. We get very, very quickly that this chap is not afraid of violence and is just as self-assured as the protagonist.
Sir,
The film now spends a lot of time making sure that we draw as many parallels between these two characters as physically possible. Everything that she does, he does, but within his own world. This includes not really valuing human life.
I only had him 6 months. I thought he'd last us at least another 5 years. Fuck, now I have to cash him out, turn over everything to his inheritors. What a fucking waste.
Did we lose any in transit?
3. We're getting the product from the others at the Medfield property.
Is that my smoothie?
In the film, the main motivation of conflict is the control over this old lady, who happens to be, one, an absolute golden goose for our protagonist in terms of money, and the secret mother of the ex-Russian mafia mob boss person. So great, it's a really clear motivation. We now get into the second act of the film, and this is unfortunately where it falls apart.
So how did this happen?
Because of the way the protagonist has been set up at the beginning, we already know that she is completely unfazed by violence and the threat of violence. So when the first tactic of the Russian mafia mob boss person is to send a lawyer through to try and threaten her or bribe her, we know that she will never go for it. Also, the threats don't really feel that scary, because again, she's not that fazed. When things start to escalate now and they start to get violent, again, she's unfazed.
You should be scared right now.
Why? Are you gonna make another big fucking speech?
Well, as you can see, she's completely unfazed by the threat of being murdered.
I'm going to kill you now.
Okay.
You're not afraid of death?
and he still hasn't gone after her core weakness yet. The only time I would say that she starts to look a little worried is when the doctor that she uses to get her clients, so she can milk them for all of their moolah, is murdered.
Sorry, I'm just closing up. Did you have an appointment?
But I think this was a missed opportunity. This specifically was the moment in which, if the Russian mobster was using his noggin, instead of killing the doctor, he would have used the doctor to turn the very system that she is abusing against her. In that way, he's actually attacking her greatest weakness, which is her greed, her source of her money, the system that she's trying to game to get power. So if he takes that from her, she now actually has to change the way she plays the game to be able to come out on top.
We gotta go. If they killed her, they're coming for us next.
We don't know they killed her. Karen may have had trouble we didn't know about.
Oh, really? Do you believe that?
Also, it feels quite strange that if someone had kidnapped a Russian mobster's mother, they wouldn't have quite a dramatic and drastic reaction to that, instead of just sending a lawyer with quite a small bribe, given the circumstances.
I think if your opening gambit is 150 grand, then Jennifer Peterson must be worth a lot more than that to whoever it is who sent you here.
Also, we know that he's willing to draw a gun on his own comrades. So why did he resort to violence so late in the game? And why was that his biggest weapon? Why wasn't his weapons actually targeting her actual weaknesses instead of targeting her strengths?
I'll feel the same way when I'm dead. Not even nothing. Why be scared of that?
So how could they have improved said villain for I Care a Lot? First of all, I probably would have tried to get through the violence and the threats of violence a little faster. Just kind of really power through it so we can get to the more interesting conflict where they can start to iterate. So they start off in their comfort zones. Russian mafia guy, he doesn't mind throwing some violence at her, and she doesn't mind throwing some court cases at him. Cool, happy days. They're both in their comfort zone here, and now they both have to move and start iterating on each other's attacks, such as the judge being tackled. He could have also found a way of freezing her assets or cutting her off from the very hospital that she currently controls. If it was that he actually got to the doctors working in the care home, then maybe there was another way of him potentially getting his mother back. And because I never really felt that the mother had any chance of getting out, even when the three mob guys came to the home, it just felt silly. It never felt like a real threat.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Walter Smith.
Now, if you're game for a slightly more dramatic change, I would honestly have thought a more effective antagonist for our lead would have been someone who can come from her blind spot. Now, early in the movie, our protagonist says,
Yeah, you say that, but at heart, most of us are weak, compliant, scared.
She basically doesn't believe that anyone who is old has any fight in them. A great way of subverting this then would be that she targets someone who actually is very, very capable and could even be the reflection of who she is currently in their own past. Therefore, it's someone who knows the game, understands the greed, understands the mentality, and is therefore able to game the system back on her.
Lawyer?
I am acting on behalf of concerned parties.
This would have been a really, really fun way for them to really explore, one, the issue of care homes and the way in which they're currently run. Two, the way in which these care homes are being influenced by capitalistic methods. And three, the way in which greed seems to motivate so many of these characters.
I hate you. But, the money we could make.
Finally, having the two versions of the same character but in the two different generations would have been a really rich space to explore the value of money for different generations. I Care a Lot is a really, really enjoyable film, and I thoroughly recommend that you check it out. But I Care a Lot just deserved a better antagonist to enable us to really explore these deep and really important issues and to shine the way it almost did.